The worst hotel I ever stayed at was called the Fiddle. It was a vile inn. Hello, everyone, and welcome to another episode of Xaereth Prevails. Today, we're going to talk about an updated list for counters in this current 5v5 meta. There's a lot of crazy stuff, including Aphra, including Lord Vader. So let's get into it right after I say thanks so much to my patrons. You guys are amazing. Thank you so much for your support, guys. I couldn't do this without you. I really couldn't, and you're amazing. Thank you guys so much. And a huge shout out to everyone who wants to support this channel for free as well. Just please hit that. Remember to hit that like button. Comment if you have the time and disposition, and let's get going. Most of the people who watch this channel aren't subscribed. I just recently read a thing that said in the last 28 days I have 55,000 independent, like, different viewers, and clearly I don't even have half that many subs. So if you don't remember, if you haven't subbed yet, that does help with the algorithm as well. So let's get into it here, folks. So first, let's talk about Lord Vader with full clones. Now, there's a lot of weird misinformation these days about this full clones team. A lot of insights have been taken out of context, because if you look at the team composition, there's no relics assigned to it. And so you see these weird things people pull. It's like, oh my gosh, bounty hunters are still beating Lord Vader, even though CG promised that they aren't working. And the reality is people aren't doing, they're not searching on insights as well as they could, unfortunately. So what I did, I ran my numbers based off of if they used the Datacron, which means they all had to be relicked, and the numbers may surprise you. First off, the thing I didn't show here, which I wish I had, some people telling me that Jedi Master Luke works against this team every time, and it was somewhere in the 40% win rate. I didn't think it was notable, but a few people have told me that that's like the truth. That's how you beat the team, and I kind of disagree based off of that number. So keep that in mind. There's also so Leia, it looks like she beats this team pretty consistently. She seems to be kind of the mostly the answer to this squad. If they have Scorch, and Scorch has his Omicron, all of that stuff. One thing I thought was interesting though was the standard Leia team with Admiral Raddus and Jin is actually worse against this team with limited data. Of course, we only have a sample size of 12 here, but people using Chupio and Captain Rex actually did like 10%, 11% better. So that, I thought that was really interesting. And Supreme Leader Kylo seems like it works. I lost really bad the one time I tried it, though. Of course, actually, now that I think of it, I wasn't using Kylo Ren on Unmasked, which might have made a pretty big deal. I was using I was using First Order Stormtrooper, which he's just an inferior specimen, unfortunately. The Beskar Mando with Sauna comp kind of works. I would say it doesn't work at all now. In fact, now that Scorch has his new addition from CG, yay CG for adding that extremely reactionary thing to their Zeta that makes it so that teams without Galactic Legends just can't get turn meter initially. Really kind of sad. But the Beskar Mando team had a good run. Or did it? Mon Mothma isn't going to work here, guys. She's at 25% win rate, but now the Scorch got his updated Zeta, that you can't gain bonus turn meter at all. Unless, of course, I suppose you could throw in some random rebel, or some random galactic legend, but if you do that, then you don't have as much turn meter. So, Mon Mothma and Bo-Katan just aren't going to work. Guys, just not gonna work. I'm sorry to make you really sad, but everyone bludgeoning me in chat telling me to use those two teams, they don't have to do that anymore. You're off the hook. You no longer no longer necessary bludgeoning of streamers with these two teams. Like that, streamers don't have to use them. You don't have to suggest it, guys. Just let it go. Just drop it. Ahsoka with Ezra, we're gonna look at two different Ahsoka comps. So Ahsoka with Ezra, of course, is like the best version right now, at least. And Leia still just bludgeons this team really bad. 95% win rate, with Adrad and Jin. And then if you want to use Supreme Leader Kylo, you don't even have to use Kylo Ren unmasked. You can use First Order Stormtrooper, and you still beat it at a really high win rate. The Eternal Emperor with Bane actually had a lower win rate than I thought they would, and it has way more battles than any other team attempted. So pretty solid sample size, but one way or another, I mean, that team, my guess is that you still are able to take out a couple of them, so it might work as a good desperation move. The Beskar Mando with Sana team actually does still work against this team. I don't think they've done anything to make this team immune to turn meter gain, so that's pretty cool. CG just sending confusing messages. They're like, you know what? We kind of regret having released Ahsoka at all. We don't regret the money we made from it, but we do regret that we've made her useful in any way, shape, or form, and we'd like to start making amends for that by making all the other Galactic Legends good by comparison. So, pretty cool. The Seer team, Seer Malicos with Starkiller actually has a really high win rate here, guys. Of course, you need Starkiller. Starkillers just become part of that Seer Malicos team, which is kind of tragic, if you ask me. And then I actually I tried this a little bit. The Great Mothers do beat some versions of this full Ahsoka team. Only a third of them, and they only did 6 battles, so I don't really know exactly. Like, it could just be like one transcendent player who tried it twice and won both of his, and then everyone else lost theirs. I don't really know. The sample size is too small to really know for sure. But I mean, Ezra just makes everything more difficult. As you'll see in the next slide, like the Great Mothers have a pretty decent chance against Ahsoka if she doesn't have Ezra with them. And then Baylan, in 4 total battles, I have no idea exactly how it went, but if you use Hunter and Wrecker, and probably the Hunter Cron, the Datacron, the bespoke Cron, which is going to be going away here really soon. If you do that, then you can beat Ahsoka with Ezra. In theory. So good luck with that. Have fun. So Ahsoka without Ezra, there's a few different versions of this team that people have been running. So it's the same 4, of course. Ahsoka with General Syndulla and Huyang and Padawan Sabine. And then the 5th one, the best one that I saw, I mean, all of the hold rates are going to vary a little bit, but Wad had consistently higher win rates or hold rates against good teams. And I mean, they're not like great. Like Leia just lays this team out completely, but it still holds better against more teams. The other teams being with Fulcrum or Nest, with the Nest Cron. Some people put Malik there, which, that'll stop a few random teams. But for the most part, Bane just ruins this team. You don't even need Sith Eternal for that. You can see Great Mothers actually have a decent win rate against this as well. And then Baylan teams with Kira Datacron work pretty nicely, and then even Queen Amidala teams are getting a decent win rate, but 62% with a small sample size. But still, I mean, without Ezra, this team just really isn't that good. It's still decent. I think I prefer Ezra with Rey right now for whatever reason. As you saw with the health percent, level 6 Datacron, a lot of people putting this on defense this time, and a lot of people using the Sign of Jango with Fennec team with the Focus Datacron to take him out, and it's a pretty high win rate. Now look at the team comps though. I thought that Cara Dune would actually have the highest hold rate against Sign of Jango. And because you get into that endless loop with protection up, right? I just thought that you would time out against her more often, but that one was actually somewhere in the middle. It was around 90% win rate for Sign of Django. The one that he struggled most against, which he didn't struggle that much, but the one he struggled the most against is with Chirrut on the team instead of Captain Rex, which I thought was interesting. The Inquisition, a lot of people say, oh dude, just use Inquisition, you're gonna win that. You don't win that. Usually you win it about 1 in 5 times. Bane does work on this team pretty consistently. It's a pretty big sample size, 100% win rate. So if you can spare Bane, then good for you, man. Go for it. Baylan is pretty good here as well with the Kira-Kron. And I mean, that's actually a very legitimate use of the Kira-Kron. I don't know why you wouldn't be using Sign of Django for the most part here if you have that team. If you don't, then I guess that makes sense. Use Baylan or something. And then, of course, the Seer Malicos team with Starkiller comes in at a 75%, and this is a small sample size, I think, because a lot of people just don't have a standardized 5th character for the team. If you add, I'm sure that the win rates stabilize a little bit if you add Kylo Ren Unmasked or Maul. I don't know if Maul would actually do that much here, but one way or another, 75% seems to be somewhere around the median for that team. So Aphra with her level 15 focused Datacron. A lot of people told me that this team was just going to get demolished by a lot of really simple counters. But Gungans, I was surprised. I actually thought the Gungans were going to be a way higher win rate, but 46% is all they get, and that's like the average. And this is all from Kyber 1, by the way, folks. So when I actually ran the numbers, and I didn't add it to the graphic because it didn't really seem that interesting, really. But it was interesting to me that I ran the numbers by how many Omicrons the Gungans had on Jar Jar, how the win rate was affected, and it seemed to go up by 2% per Omicron that you had, up to like 48%. So guys, throw all 60 of your Omicron mats on Jar Jar right now so that you can win against an Aphra team on defense 48% of the time. That'll show them that's totally worth the expenditure. Though I actually do recommend those Omicrons for what it's worth. They do show their value in other places. Supreme Leader Kylo just demolishes this team, and of course I'm running the version with Kersantin, by the way, just to make sure that we're all on the same page. Without Kersantin, this team is less awesome, though not that much less awesome. It still holds at pretty decent rates. Supreme Leader Kylo, and then Jedi Master Kenobi, who we've been struggling to find a good use for, is actually at a really high win rate here as well. Bane's kind of struggling against this team, though that's a pretty small sample size. Of course, you can never find a perfect sample size for Bane because of all the varying Sith that people like to take with him. So 66%, I mean, it's not the best, but it's not the worst. Inquisition just struggle against this team. And then I've had this comment so many times in chats, on my streams, and in comments, like people just bludgeoning me with their truth. Aphra and her Kron isn't really a threat on defense. Sidious rolls them like he was born to do it. Aphra can be targeted, can't be targeted, but she can catch dots from AoEs and die just fine. I mean, it's a 6% win rate, guys. 6%. So I'm just gonna take the time right now to just free you from having to bludgeon your streamers with that. You don't have to tell them that you should use that because it's not a thing. So yay for all of us. Rey with Ezra is of course the best version of Rey right now. Ezra is just this really dominant, randomly dominant light side dude He's doing great. So I ran two different team comps for Rey because those are, to me, they appear to be the best, at least with Ezra. The first one is with Sana and the Sana Datacron, and of course that one is really good because it gives all of her allies plus 100% health, which you'd think that would help more with Rey, but the big thing here is it gives Ezra way more health, and it makes Drogon unable to one-shot Ezra, at least not nearly as often or consistently. And so adding that Omicron, or that Datacron, really makes Leia struggle. You can see it's less than 50% win rate. Supreme Leader Kylo beats both versions of this team. If you don't have Sana, you can add General Skywalker, or sorry, General Kenobi, one of the generals, maybe General Tarples. You never know. Yeah. Or is he just a captain? Who even cares? General Veers, maybe. Anyways, Kenobi really he doesn't really help against Leia, but as much as Sana does, mostly because Ezra is going to be able to be one shot right away. But Supreme Leader Kylo beats both versions of this team at a pretty reasonable rate, 80% win rate, higher if you know what you're doing, of course. That's the same with all of the different things. The thing that surprised me most is Seer Malicos with Maul, which a lot of us just have available these days, is winning at an 80% rate against either version of this team, which Ezra, I thought, was giving them more trouble than that, but apparently not. They're just winning, and this is a decent sample size, so I guess it's game on for Seer Malicos with Starkiller and Maul. A very expensive team, honestly. And don't forget that you either need Kylo Ren Unmasked or Maul or Baby Cal. If you don't have two of those three, the win rates plummet. Baylan is the final one that we're going to look at here today, guys. And if you want to use Jabba because you're afraid of the Afracron, then this is a good use of it. Gungan surprised me by having a surprisingly high amount of high win rate against Baylan. This is something I perceived to be significantly lower. So 71%. I mean, still not really consistent, but nice enough, honestly. It's way better than I thought it would be. Supreme Leader Kylo just destroys this team. 100% win rate out of 94 attempts, and that's just that one inferior Supreme Leader Kylo comp. Bane does tend to beat this team pretty consistently. Sid the Eternal Emperor with Bane beats it even more consistently. Lord Vader without his clone friends, which obviously he's going to get his clone friends soon enough, but they're not farmable yet, so may as well make use of him if you don't have the clones. This is a pretty good win rate. As long as your Thrawn can get an early fracture, that's a really important thing. The Seer Malicos team, once again, 83%, not too bad. And then Inquisition, the team I keep using and being frustrated when I lose. It turns out I've just been in error. That team just doesn't ever beat Baylan, apparently. So that's it for us today, folks. I realize we didn't cover every single counter and every single team, but I hope this helped. I hope this helped you guys shape your defenses a little bit too. So let me know what your thoughts are in the comments, guys. Thank you all so much for watching. And remember that in all things, Zareth prevails. Take care, folks.